you've got to be careful of is fuel. So what actually happens, this engine has got two ways that it protects itself from fuel and dirt. The engine protects itself. The first thing is your actual fuel filter, which you need to clean. Every time you use it, you just need to open up and take all the gunk out. That's imperative. But let's say water or dirt has gone into the system. The first line of defense that the engine's got is this here. The filter.
Okay.
It's very easy to clean. Tol, if you look
I
over here,
can get it, that's fine, yeah.
you
It
can
unscrews
actually-
on as well, it unscrews.
Yeah, it's very easy, and you can actually remove the whatever dirt is in yourself. That's
And you
very
wash it with
important.
what? With
Fuel.
fuel?
Diesel.
Diesel.
Don't do anything else.
Not diesel.
So that's number one. It's very easy to take out. It's very easy to clean.
That's
If
dirt or water.
Dirt or water. Remember, because it's a bowl, the water will sit at the bottom, and only fresh fuel will go at the top. Now, let's say, for instance, it's gone through this. Now the dirt is in the engine. Let me show you this side. This here is called the water vapor separator. Inside here is a high pressure fuel pump. If you look over here, can you see this star screwdriver nut?
Yeah, yeah.
Can you see this clear?
Yes. Right.
Can you see this clear pump?
Yes. You open.
Yeah.
Clear pump. Now what this, it also acts as a water separator. Because of its design, the fuel only comes out from the top part. The bottom, it
It's
collects
water.
water, it collects dirt. It's very, very important that you open this. You
How many
really-
times?
Every
month.
I think once.
2-3 times.
Well, it depends how much you're using it.
Okay.
But also
Even once
remember
every
to
2
close it, otherwise you're going to be leaking fuel over here.
Every
Eh?
2 weeks is nice.
Every
10
2
days.
weeks is fine.
Has it got a washer and everything? Has it
Yeah,
got
it's
a...
just over here. You just have to undo this and
You open it,
it'll
you see
yeah,
that?
here it is. It'll
Yes.
come out here.
Ah,
So what?
I think
And the
I'm not-
reason why you've got to clean this is, let's say for instance, water comes into the system. The water sits in here. Your high pressure fuel pump also sits in water, and that starts rusting. And inside here is also a float. So you want to keep this thing as clean as possible. That's important. Every now and again, if you are going to do your own service, I suggest you open it up and clean it inside.
is that a guide to Suzuki for dummies?
It's the guide for you to. For it
Do
to
you
last
have one for dummies?
No.
Please switch one down.
Phone 0800, I'll help you. But that's
Okay.
very important. I think the fuel system is exceptionally important. Another very important thing is, and I don't know why, always check your oil.
Before start engine, you check your.
Always check your
Must
oil.
be in the middle.
What actually happens with the lathy,
Must be in the middle.
it must be just below there.
Uh-huh.
What happens with the lathy is, especially with a 4-stroke engine, because a lot of people trawl, which I don't think you guys, because a lot of the fishermen
No, we're not gonna
do a
trawl.
lot of trawling. They don't open up the engine. What happens is that sometimes the fuel doesn't burn and it escapes and it goes into the oil, and all of a sudden you look at your dipstick and you see your oil more than it should be. That means that there's oil dilution. It's a phenomenon that happens with 4-stroke.
So we must
engines.
actually change it then.
Not firstly check it, because once it starts mixing, it becomes a lot thinner. The lathy, and you don't want that.
It actually
You
can
want
corrode. It can corrode the engine as well.
Yeah,
Eh?
the viscosity needs to be the same. That's very important. Is the dipstick. So it's the fuel and it's the oil. Now, if you're going to do your own servicing, the way this engine looks after itself is that there are external anodes
Yes.
and there are internal anodes. The external anodes is this one, the one over here. It's external anodes. Now, in this engine, it's also got internal anodes that protect the engine, because now salt water is going into the system. You need to look after the engine. So if you look here, yeah,
Oh, that's an anode.
anode, 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 anode. It's very easy. You open it up, it pops up. There is another nut that you can get, which is a slightly thicker nut. All you do is you take this out, you put this a thicker nut in, and it pops out. Okay. I'm not too sure what the size is. Pops out. There's a small little round anode that's in here. It's very important that you remove it, you clean it Then you use some grease and you can pop it in because there's an O-ring there as well. You don't have to replace it all the time. You just have to clean it. Yet because of the shape of this, it's like a little cave. It gets it gets filled with salt.
It oxidizes,
It
yeah.
stops working. And if that doesn't work, then your engine becomes the anode.
Αυτό κάθε φορά κάθε μήνα.
It doesn't have to be as much as that. But you just got to be aware of it. I would do it, perhaps every minute. I would do it every month for sure, just to clean it, just to make sure that your engine works properly. And I'll tell you another thing, Tolly. The thermostat, when you flush this engine from cold, it takes 7 minutes for that thermostat to open up from cold. So a lot of people will go fishing, they'll come back to shore, they'll go and have lunch, they'll have supper, then they'll do it the next day. 7 minutes for the thermostat to open. That means that when a lot of people only flush their engines for 2-3 minutes.
Yes.
You're not flushing the whole system. You're only flushing 2/3 of your engine. The other third is still stopped by the thermostat because it's trying to get hot. And I've noticed that whenever we open up the thermostat, it's full of salt. So when you
So then it
clean
stops
these-
working, yeah.
When you clean these, open the thermostat up as well.
Clean also.
Clean it. You'll be surprised. But it's essential that you flush your engine at least 7 minutes plus.
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Very nice.
If it's hot, it doesn't have to. If you've just come from whatever, then it's not a
But
problem.
you flush the engine
It's better to use
down
that.
for the...
You need your earmuffs.
Okay.
Yet the system over here is a flushing system, but the problem with that is that your engine is switched off. You can't run the engine with this, and the thermostat still stays. So it's better than nothing, but it's always better to use.
So flushing, you use the bottom one.
At the
Huh?
time you
Better
flush,
to use the bottom one. It's
the
better.
flush for this to start in the engine.
Yes, you switch on the water.
So we need to wait for 7 minutes before we flush.
10 minutes.
No. Sorry, let me rephrase that. You put the water on, and then you run it on idle for 7 minutes.
Ah, all right.
This system here, if you ever use this, you cannot fire up the engine. Yet if you're going to flush it with this Gardena fitting, you cannot switch on the engine. It just flushes whatever it can. It's better than nothing, but it's not the right thing.
Okay.
Then another thing is your prop. I don't know why. Remove your prop, especially if, I know you guys aren't going to be fishing with it, but if you are going to fish, remove the prop. You'll be surprised at how much line it actually accumulates. At the base of the prop is an O-ring. And a lot of people are using braid now, even nylon. It gets so hot, it starts burning the O-ring and exposing the gearbox, and then water goes into the gearbox.
So gearbox goodbye.
It's very important to take the prop out and then put grease again. Grease is your best friend. Put it back and close it. Now, you can...
The electrical, do you open the connectors and spray them or clean them or
I
whatever?
wouldn't do that, but what I would do is you can, in a very light spray on the engine,
What?
you can do light water spray, especially on the tray, because the tray collects
Fresh
a lot
water, of course, fresh water.
Just on the tray. Don't put a lot of water in the starter mode and kill off
also
that, but just
inside, yes.
visible clean.
Okay.
And whenever another important thing.
The
this is
greases?
what I always
The
do.
greases? No.
The?
The greases.
You mean the grease nipples?
The greases. If to get grease out and fuel to clean the
Yes, you can use that. You can use. Well, that's another thing is that the engine comes with these nipples. It is it all.
No.
You,
You need the...
you get yourself one of those.
You put grease.
Yeah, there's one there, and there should be one over there. It's very important that you grease, especially a motor. Every nipple grease that you see, you must put grease in it. It's essential.
How often?
Well, the thing is, Tolly, because in your harbour, you actually only really needed to do it every service. But if you feel as though you need to do it more, you do it. It shouldn't stop you because it'll just make your engine last a lot longer. Another thing is that if you're going to have two engines, which is what you're going to have, you need an earth strap. You need to connect both batteries via an earth strap. If you don't do that, the motor starts corroding more. An earth strap's essential. It's essential that you've got the right batteries, and it's essential that you.
What batteries must to get?
Well, I would use the 101 amps. The 101.
On
The
one.
bigger the better.
2. We need 2 and 2.
Yes, you'll need to. No, it's called 105 or 101 amps. That's what we normally use
It's
for one engine.
105 amp hour.
Yeah, and it must be deep cycle.
Deep cycle.
Sorry, it must not be deep cycle. It must be high cycle. The same that cars use and trucks use.
High cycle.
High cycle, not deep cycle. Not deep cycle. And that's it.
All right, and the 35, the first service, we have to do first service.
First service
when
is
we reach
20 hours.
Vilanculos.
20 hours is first service, a very basic service.
So we're going to reach Vilanculos. We're going to get the guy from there to do it for us.
Have to. And then thereafter, it's every 100 hours. You can do your service,
What's the service like?
but it's every 100 hours.
Maybe first time we'll call this Vilanculos guy.
Yes. Let him see if he
Make
can.
1-2 times.
But you need to
Take
follow
nicely.
it because there's a lot of people out there that don't do the servicing properly. You need to sit on them, make sure that they're doing it properly. It's very, very important that you make sure. I'm not saying that sometimes they overlook.
When is the major service?
Well,
500.
You've got. I'm going to show you the service interval book. I'm going to show you so then you can follow it religiously. That's it. That's all you need to know. That's all. The engine, a Suzuki engine, has also got a set of noises on the control box. So if the gauge says check engine, and you put the key on, and then you hear a beep, it'll go beep, 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 beep. It means it's telling you what the problem actually is.
That's like a Morse code, right?
It's like a Morse code. So let's say for
Small,
instance,
big, small, big,
your
small.
O2 sensor is giving you a problem. The code tells you that it's an O2 sensor, or if there's water in the fuel, it actually tells you with a sequence of noises. I will get that sequence of
So tomorrow you're going to have them here. You're going to have them delivered here.
as soon as I know what's going on. Yes. So that's important that you know. So it self-diagnoses itself, but you've got to have an ear for it. That's more or less it. Otherwise, then it's perfect.
Thank you, Ruli from Natal Power Boats. Thank you very much. This is going on YouTube, eh?
YouTube.
YouTube, got it. Bye bye.
Give you an autograph.